Welcome back to Central Colorado Ballistics. My name is Wally. Today we're going to talk about firearm rights, but not just in the United States. We're going to talk about England and Great Britain, where many of our legal traditions come from, and how the loss of firearm rights there didn't stop with guns. It spread into other freedoms, including free speech. Now, I want to be clear up front. This isn't about bashing another country. It's about learning from history, because history doesn't usually fail quietly. It fails gradually. And the question I want you thinking about the entire time is simple. If rights can be restricted there, why do we assume they can't be restricted here? A lot of people forget this, but American firearm rights didn't come out of nowhere. They came from English common law. The English Bill of Rights of 1689 recognized that citizens at the time, Protestants, had the right to keep arms for their defense. The idea crossed the Atlantic with the colonists. But here's the key difference. In England, rights were granted by the government. In America, though, rights were recognized as inherent. That distinction matters more than people realize. When the founders wrote the Second Amendment, they weren't inventing something new. They were removing the government's ability to decide who gets rights and when. Britain didn't lose firearm rights overnight. It happened step by step, always in the name of safety. Early registration and licensing, restrictions on who could own what, increased police discretion, and confiscations after high-profile crimes. By the mid to late 20th century, firearm ownership in the UK became a privilege, not a right. And here's the important part. Every new restriction was framed as reasonable, temporary, targeted. Sound familiar? Today in England, firearm ownership is extremely limited. Self-defense is not considered a valid reason to own a gun. The state holds a monopoly on force. Once the people no longer had the means to resist, the balance of power shifted permanently. Now let's talk about something people don't like connecting to firearms: free speech. In modern Britain, people are arrested for social media posts, and the hate speech laws are enforced inconsistently. Police monitor online speech. Citizens are questioned or detained for words alone. This isn't accidental. When a population is disarmed, the consequences for resisting government overreach become purely theoretical. Free speech doesn't disappear all at once. It gets managed, then regulated, then criminalized. Without the means for meaningful resistance, the government doesn't need to persuade, it only needs to enforce. Firearm rights don't protect speech directly, but they protect the environment where speech can exist freely. So what does that mean for us? It means rights are interconnected. Once a government successfully reframes one right as a privilege, the rest are easier to control. England shows us that. You don't lose freedom through tyranny alone. You lose it through compliance, comfort, and good intentions. And once it is gone, it almost never comes back. Now let's bring this home to Colorado. Colorado has a strong firearm culture, deep hunting traditions, and a history of independence. But we're also seeing magazine limits, weapon classifications, expanded red flag laws, increased restrictions passed by people who don't live the consequences. And just like England, it's framed as common sense, reasonable, temporary. The lesson from Britain is this: you don't wait until rights are gone to defend them. Once firearm ownership becomes conditional, the question isn't if more rights are restricted, it's which one is next. Protecting rights doesn't mean chaos, it means engagement. Know your state laws. Support organizations that challenge unconstitutional laws. Talk to your neighbors, especially the ones who disagree. Vote in primaries, not just general elections. Show up locally, not just online. Rights aren't protected by silence or comfort. They're protected by informed, responsible citizens. In closing, England didn't lose its freedoms because its people were weak. They lost them because they trusted the government to protect rights for them instead of from itself. America and Colorado still have a choice. This question is whether we'll learn from history or repeat it. Freedom secured, rights defended.